Hey you guys, Happy New Year. So today I'll be reviewing Top Perry Sistas Season 8, Episode 12 entitled Pull the Trigger. And I want to say tonight's episode was really, really good. To be honest, to me, so far, this is the best episode of the season so far. Like, this episode was really, really good. And they really jumping into it. So basically, the episode started off with that guy from last week who was following Andy. She maced him and he comes out and says that he was sent from Robin to spy on Andy. And then Andy confronts him and they get into a little argument, and Andy gets a call from Fatima that Karen's going into labor, which to me didn't make any sense because that didn't even happen yet until later in the episode. So there was a little misplacement there in the editing. I don't know, but that's what happened. So then the scene cuts back to Danny's apartment, and she's having a panic attack, and her therapist comes over, tries to calm her down. They called it the paramedics. The paramedic says she's fine. She's not having a heart attack. She's having a panic attack, and they leave. And then her therapist says, "Should I call somebody?" She told her to call Sabrina. So then we cut to the basketball court where Sabrina and Rich are, and they're talking about Rich possibly having problems with his sperm with with because the doctor called him, and so then they talk about that, and then that's when Sabrina gets the call, and then Rich overhears and he calls Tony, and then they rush over to Nanny's apartment. So then so then Sabrina and Rich get there, her therapist leaves, and then Tony shows up, and then Danny's basically telling Tony to leave because he's triggering her panic attacks. So then we cut to Karen. We cut to Zach and Fatima's house, and Karen and them are still arguing. And then Zach comes out and slips something that reveals to Karen that Fatima is pregnant. And that sends Karen to what she thought was a labor, but what we later find out it was actually Braxton Hicks' contraction. So then we get to the hospital. The doctor tells her this is Braxton Hicks, and she's too stressed out. So then Andy shows up, and she's basically like, okay, everything's fine, so I'm just going to go check on Gary. And then Aaron shows up, and Aaron's basically yelling at Zach, telling him to stop stressing Karen out, and they're about to get into a fight in the middle of the hospital. So then we cut to Hayden trying to suffocate Gary, but then Hudson walks in and basically tells Hayden that Gary is suffering from memory loss because Gary didn't remember who he was. So then outside the hospital room, Robin calls Hayden to tell Hayden that Andy's leave is extended longer, and then Hayden taunts Andy about it, and they get notification that Penelope has been arrested for Gary stabbing. So then we cut to so then Rich and Tony are at dinner talking. They talk about their issues or whatever, and then they also get a call from Jordan telling them about Penelope. And that was basically the whole episode. Like it was really, to me, it was a good episode. It was a good pacing, and I like the acting. And I feel like I'm if they keep it up like this this half of season will definitely be better than the first half. Because first half was it was just so bad and so trash. But I cannot wait for the second half, and I'll talk to y'all next week.